a Wikividi Documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Stade Velodrome. The Stade Velodrome, known for sponsorship reasons as the Orange Velodrome, is a multi-purpose stadium in Marseille, France. It is home to the Olympique de Marseille Football Club of Ligue 1 since it opened in 1937, and was a venue in the 1998 FIFA World Cup, the 2007 Rugby World Cup, and the UEFA Euro 2016. It occasionally hosts RC Toulon Rugby Club of the top 14. It is the largest club football ground in France, with a capacity of 67,344 spectators. The stadium is also used regularly by the France national rugby union team. The record attendance for a club game before renovation at the Stade Velodrome was 58,897. Since expansion to 67,394, the record attendance at the ground now stands at 65,252 for the match versus rivals PSG that occurred on February 26, 2017. The stadium was also featured as a FIFA World Cup venue when the 1938 finals were held in France. The first ever match to be played was between Marseille and Torino in 1937. The French rugby union team began an impressive run of victories at the stadium in the early 2000s. They defeated the New Zealand All Blacks 42-33 in November 2000, and in 2001 defeated Australia by 1 point. They beat the South African Springboks in 2002, followed by a win over England in 2003. However, their run of luck was broken in 2004, when they lost 14-24 to Argentina. The venue was used by France in November 2009 when the French played the New Zealand All Blacks. In 2018, the stadium hosted its first Six Nations match with France hosting Italy. France is not the only rugby team to have used the Velodrome in recent years. On the 18th of April 2009, Toulon took their home fixture in a top 14 against Toulouse to the Velodrome, drawing 57,039 spectators to see a 14-6 Toulon win, which played a key role in the Toulonnais' successful fight against relegation in the 2008-09 season. Toulon has taken 2 home matches to the Velodrome in each of the succeeding 2 seasons. The Velodrome was also the venue for both semi-finals in the 2010-11 Top 14 season, and was used for the Toulon v Munster semi-final of the 2013-14 Heineken Cup. History. In 1935, the architectural firm Pollock Bloquin was chosen to build a stadium in Marseille. Henry Bloquin designed the stadium. For economic reasons, only the Stade Velodrome was built. On the 28th of April 1935, the foundation stone was laid for the Velodrome by Marseille Méribot, on a site between downtown and the suburban areas of Saint-Geniez and Sainte-Marguerite on military grounds belonging to the city. The Stade Velodrome opened on the 13th of June 1937, when a friendly match was played between Olympique Marseille and Italian of Torino FC. On the 29th of August 1937 a match took place between OM and Cannes. This was the first official match at the stadium. As its name suggests, Stade Velodrome was used for cycling competitions, but as these races became less common, seating replaced the track which circled the stadium. The Velodrome remained famous for fans of OM since the sloped track which was under the extended seating acted as a slide to invade the pitch. At the end of matches, OM was long hostile to the Stade Velodrome, calling it the stage of the city council. For fans of the Olympians between the wars, the real home of OM was Stade de Louvain, owned by OM and partly financed by fans in the early 1920s. After World War II, however, OM no longer owned the stadium Louvain. Seeking support from the city, Chairman Marcel Leclerc had OM play at Louvain from 1945 to 1960. The city council then relented, and OM moved to the Velodrome. During the 1970s, OM shared the Stade with the Marseille 13 Rugby League. First renovations. 1970 marked the first modifications to the Velodrome, with the replacement of the floodlights on the Ghanéen Jean Bouin tribunes by 4 60-meter towers for nighttime events. In March 1971, the capacity of the stadium was increased by nearly 6,000 seats. With the reduction of the cycling track and the removal of the cinder running track, This brought the total capacity of the stadium to 55,000 people, including the standing area. Olympique returned to the Stade de Louvain for the 1982-1983 season. The Stade Vélodrome was under construction in preparation for the 1984 European Football Championship. The playing surface was completely replaced during this time. The semi-final between France and Portugal had set a record for attendance at an international match with 54,848 spectators. The capacity of the stadium was later reduced to 42,000 with the construction of lodges. The cycling track was removed altogether once Bernard Tapie was appointed president of OM in 1985. He chose to remove it and rearrange the corners of the stadium, bringing the capacity up to 48,000. This renovation marked the end of the era of Vélodrome as a multi-use facility. The area around the stadium was also transformed, with the creation of the second line of the metro which served the stadium from 2 stations and with the construction of the Palais des Sports nearby. 1998 World Cup and beyond. The Stade Vélodrome was completely renovated for the 1998 World Cup. Its capacity increased from 42,000 to 60,031 seats. The Vélodrome hosted the final draw, which took place on the 4th of December 1997 and 7 matches, including France's first match against South Africa, the quarter-final between Argentina and the Netherlands and the semi-final between Brazil and the Netherlands. As of 2011, the record attendance for a football game was the Newcastle United UEFA Cup semi-final on the 6th of May 2004. During the 2007 Rugby World Cup, the Vélodrome hosted 6 games, including 2 quarter-finals, Australia vs England and South Africa vs Fiji. On the 16th of July 2009, during preparations for a Madonna concert, one of 4 winches used to hoist the structure failed. The 60-ton roof fell. Widely criticized and unloved by the Marseillais for its architecture, the Stade Vélodrome has since 2003 been the subject of several projects to modernize and enlarge it. In July 2009, following an extraordinary council of the City of Marseille concerning the City Hall renovation project, a motion was passed launching a public-private partnership. On the 21st of June 2010, following France's winning bid for UEFA Euro 2016, Marseille announced that the stadium would receive another renovation, making it a UEFA Elite Stadium. Works began in the spring of 2011 and were completed in summer 2014. UEFA Euro 2016 matches. The Vélodrome hosted 6 games at UEFA Euro 2016, including a semi-final. In 2016, the stadium became the first in Europe to have hosted 3 European Championship semi-finals after France's previous hosting of the tournament in 1960 and 1984. Structure. The 4 stands in the stadium are named after athletes, a historical figure of the 1720 plague epidemic, and a popular Olympique de Marseille supporter. Situation and accessibility. The stadium is 4 kilometers from the old port of Marseille, in the neighborhoods of Sainte-Marguerite and Saint-Geniez in the southern part of Marseille. It is bound to the south by the Houvion River and to the north by the Parc Chanot and the headquarters of regional public TV station, France 3 Méditerranée. To its west runs the Boulevard Michelet and, to the east, the Marseille Palais des Sports and the Delors Stadium. The Vélodrome is serviced by the bus and metro networks of the Régie des Transports de Marseille, besides several bus services operating in the area. 2 stations of the Marseille Metro Line 2 are close to the stadium. Supporters wishing to reach the Grenelle North stands must alight at the Sainte-Marguerite Dromel station, whereas the Rond-Point du Prado station caters for the South stand and the Jean Bouin stand. This line, which also serves the Marseille-Saint Charles train station, has additional trains on match days. Marseille-Provence Airport is 30 kilometers from the Vélodrome. Current situation. The Stade Vélodrome has increased its seating capacity in 2014, and continues to host games for Olympique de Marseille. Previously it held 60,031 spectators. Following its renovation, it is now able to hold 67,000, including 7,000 VIP seats. The cost of the project was €267 million. The expansion and modernization of equipment was part of the French bid to organize Euro 2016. Marseille Mayor Jean-Claude Gaudin's bid also provided for the creation of a new district. Construction. Marseille has increased the stadium's capacity and installed a roof, as required by UEFA standards. The project also includes multiple reception areas and media space, better access for the disabled and better seating. The new stadium has been officially inaugurated on the 16th of October 2014. Approaches. The Esplanade Garnier has been preserved and refurbished. The RTM car park has been replaced with office towers and housing. RTM users benefit from a larger underground car park. Trees and wind turbines contribute to a new neighborhood HQE. Cost. The total project estimate is €267 million, with €150 million for the stadium and the remnant for the surrounding shopping mall, hotel and housing. The private sector to cover 2/3 of the investment. The remainder will be shared by the region, the Department of Bouches-du-Rhône, and the city of Marseille for €20 million. The French government contributed to upgrade the area's infrastructure. After several studies, the mayor selected the contract of partnership arrangements included in a PPP. Olympique de Marseille. Olympique de Marseille will be closely associated with the project, said Jean-Claude Gaudin. The club remains a tenant of the stadium. Elected officials want ticket prices to be controlled. Naming rights. The naming rights for the stadium were bought by French telecommunications multinational Orange SA. The 10-year deal was announced on 3 June 2016 by the mayor of Marseille. The price is undisclosed. Brought to you by Wikivideo Documentaries. Would you like to know more?